All right, so we're supposed to evaluate this expression.
Wait, we're doing the homework one?
No, we're not going to do that. You know, if you would like pay attention instead of messing with your neighbor, we wouldn't have this problem.
We're doing problem 1 of the quiz.
That is true. That is exactly true.
Like a 7 at the bottom. Parentheses.
We're supposed to evaluate this expression, and we're supposed to name the property used in each step. So what should step 1 be? Yeah, so before we do that, we need to turn this into a fraction. What lets us do that? What property did we just use? We did use substitution. That's exactly right.
Is that a 14 or 15?
It's supposed to be a 14. Substitution. Now what would be next? 1/5 times 5, which is what?
7. I mean, no.
1.
1 is what it is. What property is that?
Sub?
Definitely not substitution. Good try, but no. Multiplicative identity. That's exactly right. Well, no, it's almost right. Multiplicative inverse. Remember, inverse is the one that cancels. Identity is the one that makes it stay the same. Yeah. So the multiplicative inverse. Okay, so now what would happen? It is 14. And what property is that one? That's the one where we multiply it and it stayed the same. So what is that?
Identity.
The identity, that's right. Identity. There we go. So all of that is the answer. All of that. Okay, let's do today's homework.
So I got 14 on the quiz, but it was marked as wrong. Is it just the way I did it was wrong?
So all of this is the answer. All of it.
There's no alternative way to do it.
There is no alternative way to do it and get it right. This is just like the one we did in class. Just like the one we did in class. You'd have to change this to 1/5 because that makes it the inverse. And then we do the inverse and then we do the identity. Okay. Right? So if you just shoved it in the calculator or if you got 0.2 and then whatever else, that is mathematically fine, but that's not what we're trying to do on this problem. So yes, it was the way you did it because the way you did it on this type of problem is the problem. This is except not with just numbers, with properties and other things. This is your future next year. This but more. In geometry. Yeah. It's that but more. Okay. So what we did 1-4 distributive property and 1-5 equations. Does that sound accurate? Okay.
It was 12 through 38 evens.
On 29?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yes.
Yeah, I get a whole bunch of rows.
It's right there. Number 12, the setup would be 3 times, in parentheses, 715 plus 1,035. And then when you solve it, I thought I left the thing there. I didn't leave the thing there. Give me half a second, more or less. Joseph's on a vacation far away. You know what life goes a little bit older. I don't want to lose your love. You know what's funny is if you were to go back and watch the video, because assuming the Bluetooth works just fine from this room to that room, you go back and you would see just this. But I would be singing. So if you want to hear me singing, you can go back and watch the video because I'm sure it recorded it even though y'all couldn't hear it. So there it is.
So you're saying the video on this topic?
Yeah, no, like on this video that I'm recording right now, as I wandered into the kitchen, I started singing and then I wandered back And if you want to hear it loud and clear coming from the microphone, you can go back and watch the video.
That's just kind of creepy. It's like you walk out and all of a sudden you just start singing.
What I need to start doing is I need to start recording it on 2 channels and sticking the other mic over here and recording y'all. And then I'll walk out the room and then figure out what's going on with our lives. Where did my book go? There it went.
Yeah, I know it's right there.
I used to do that sometimes when I taught public school. I would turn my camera on my computer, and I would leave to go whatever, pick up something or something, and then I would pull it up on my phone and watch and listen as I was gone.
You had the camera too?
Huh?
You had the camera, not just the voice?
The camera was on, but you could, as far as y'all are concerned, you could only see the back of your head, and the only audio being recorded is coming from this lapel mic. So if you said something stupid, it didn't pick it up.
Good.
I should start recording like that mic on another channel so that then we can hear y'all too.
Kids talking in a classroom. Push
Or I could just start putting it on the channel and then pull this mic out and set it over here. And then when you have a question, we can pass it around the room and be like, it's not a but you know. Just like, that's okay. I'm gonna pass. Anyway, what I was saying was, when you solve it out and do number 12, you get 5,250 points. Not points, pints. And number 14, you get 7 times 13 plus 7 times 12. And when you do it, you get 175. 16, you'd have 3 times 15 plus 8 times 15. And then you'd end up getting 165. 18 be 19 times 9 minus 19 times 4, and you'd get 95. 20 would be 7 times 2 plus 7 times 1, and you'd get 21. 22 would be 6 times 500 plus 25, and then when you do it, you'd get 3,150. 24 would be 4 plus 2 sevenths times 21, and then when you do it, you get 90. 26, we went through 36?
38.
38, all right. Who do we appreciate? 38, okay. 26 is 5 times 3 plus n times 3, and you'd get 15 plus 3n. 28 would be 8 times x squared minus 8 times 9x plus 8 times 5, and you'd end up simplifying to 8x squared minus 72x plus 40. 30 is as simple as it gets.
30?
Yes, sir. 32,
Wait, as simple as it gets?
it's simplified. It says if not possible, you write simplified. There ain't nothing you can do on it. You can't combine them. They're not alike. What? I don't know what you're saying. Anyway, 32. You cannot, because one of them is x squared and the other one is x cubed. So they don't actually combine. Okay, 32 is 13z squared plus 3z. 34 is 44d plus 66. 36 is 24x plus 28. And 38 you'd walk it on down, you'd use the associative property first to change the grouping over to the m squared plus 5, and change it over to the 2m squareds, and then you'd use substitution to combine like terms.
What was 36 again?
The number after 35. Oh, you mean the answer?
Yeah.
The answer was 24x plus 28. What questions do we have on that lesson? Now you're starting to sound like your brother. Stop doing that.
Can we get 36 and 28?
We can definitely get 36 and probably 20. All right, look at that. Go team.
No, I got there at 28. That's it.
28.
I did 28 right, I think, but I didn't write it down. I did the first part down right, so I still got the answer.
I see.
I don't know.
28, we've got 8 times x squared minus 9x plus 5. All right. What do we do? We distribute 8 times everything. What is 8 times x squared? 8x squared, that's true enough. What's 8 times negative 9x? What's 8 times negative 9? Negative 72x, right? And then 8 times 5 is 40. None of those combine because they're not like terms, so that's as simple as it gets right there.
For some reason, I only distributed 8 and 5, not the other two, so I just did
Ah.
parentheses.
I got 8x2.
8x what?
8x2.
No, 8x what?
I got 8x parentheses 2.
No, stop, go back. Not 2, not 2 squared. Oh, you did get 8x2. Oh, and you were supposed to get squared. I got you. You weren't lying. I see. I follow you. You were that was the mistake. I got it. I understand.
X plus 45.
Yeah. Negative what? 11? Would you say?
Negative 92 8x plus z to the 50.
What? I think something went way wrong. You went in some weird alternate dimension. Something happened.
And then 50. It was like a small z and a 50.
There was not any z's in the problem. You just went something. Your handwriting went crazy or something.
Oh, it must have been 2.
Probably the 2 turned into a z on your paper.
I don't know. I got 8 times negative 9 to 92.
Yeah, that was probably just a weird mistake.
I didn't also put. Oh no, I didn't do that.
It makes sense. You probably got 72 and then wrote down the 9 from this 9. Sometimes my brain does that too, where you like get the thing, but then you accidentally put the number from somewhere else in that place. Right, yes, that happens.
Oh, I think I wrote it down. I wrote 72 and changed it and tried to rewrite the whole thing.
Yeah.
Then you tortured me.
I tortured you?
You put on a random 2, and I was like, where'd the 2 come from? And you were like, oh, sorry, guys.
Good job.
I was like, wait, what? Was that a 2?
All right, any other questions from this lesson?
36.
36! 36!
36.
Last year I got 37 or whatever the heck he says in that stupid line. Come on, Harry Potter, man. What is the line? What is Dudley's whining about getting 36 presents? What did he actually say?
Last year, I got 37.
Yeah, see, I did quote it right.
Don't forget about.
Yes, she did.
No, you didn't do all of it though. Don't forget about these 2 under this big one from Mommy and Daddy. And we also get 2 from the town today. Is that all right, darling? Right.
Oh my gosh.
You didn't finish it, Sean.
The question is did Harry really not have any other family in existence? I mean, seriously, like, come on now. Like, come on now, Dumbledore. Also, your way of saving these kids is by putting them in mortal danger every year. Aren't you like the bomb? Oh my gosh. I enjoy Harry Potter. It's lots of fun, but like, it's pretty stupid too. It's pretty silly.
He does have other family, I'm pretty sure. The only reason he did it is because when Voldemort killed his parents, he didn't want him to be in the wizarding world until he was of age.
Yeah.
He had other wizarding family. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes.
And
He had a
so
wizard.
devilish,
He had a
like,
wizarding
those
stepmom.
people that saved him from Voldemort, like getting him before he
Right.
knew magic.
Yeah.
Dumbledore looks the same through all
I don't understand why Dumbledore couldn't have just protected him. I mean, seriously. Like, exactly. Well, that wouldn't have fit because it's not blood relative, so that wouldn't have had the issue. But whatever. That still wouldn't have worked with the magical protection stuff. That wouldn't have helped. Adoption wouldn't have been enough. It had to be blood. No, that actually doesn't work. The other, what the worst, and this everybody's very familiar with this, is what really breaks the entire universe, like hardcore breaks it. Like was probably the dumbest thing that she put in the books, period, bar none, Like really no, Dobby's great. Dobby's great. No, is the time turner. If the time turner exists, then like there's no problem with the universe. Like stupid. Dumb. She should have gave it stakes or something. Like it doesn't even like she could have put the time turner and like made it like kill you sooner or you know what like she could have made it, but she didn't even do that. Like there's no downside to using the time turner. Actually.
In Cursed Child.
Oh my gosh, nobody cares about Cursed Child. It's awful.
They actually in the movie they changed it up and
There's no movie, it's a play.
it's about their thinking of it.
Nobody cares, it's stupid. But continue.
Oh, they are making.
Let him finish his story. They retcon something to try to fix the problem, is what you're probably getting to.
Actually, like,
I got a real time.
They fix the
reveal
problem.
that it actually
Yeah.
takes off like time in your life.
That's the obvious fix. And if she would have written that to begin with, I would give it to you. But a retcon fix is a retcon fix, and Cursed Child is just dumb anyway. So you know,
They are making a
it's
movie.
worse than Fantastic Beasts, and that's saying something.
Hey, that hurts me mortally.
Fantastic Beasts 1 was great. Like I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun, and then it just went downhill from there. It was just like okay. The 5,000 shenanigans with trying to like twist up Grindelwald. Like, okay, just like, y'all are dumb. Anyway, we got to distribute the 7, right? Right. But only the 7, not the 3x. Because he's over here added. So he's just going to hang out and wait for a more hopeful future. What's 7 times 3x? What?
21x. Took off the 3.
I don't care. Let's do this problem. Okay, it is 21x. What's 7 times 4?
28.
Now what would we do?
Do the
Minus
X.
21 and
Yes.
X.
Yeah.
I quit.
No, stop.
20.
24x plus 28.
Circle.
Did you make a little mistake somewhere? Did you forget to put the 3x or
I
something?
just didn't do it. I just like bailed on the trivia part, you know, or something, and I did it on like nonsense besides like Algebra.
I see.
I don't know.
That's like the whole point of the lesson.
But then I got like pretty much had a lot of problems right. So.
Yeah, I took off the 3's first and then 7 times 4
How did you do that?
by poofing.
Okay. Okay. Great. Let's look at the next lesson, shall we? Equations.
You were so nice to us. It was like 10 problems.
So sweet.
Thank you. Wait. Everyone's together now. Hey. Yeah, I didn't know how to do the word problems.
I feel like you didn't actually try, but that's fine. It runs in the family.
Word problems are stupid.
Oh, 9. It was actually 9.
Like, they don't belong.
Okay, what numbers did we do?
22 through 38 evens.
22 through 38 evens. Here we go.
We did word problems.
We can do the same thing we always do. I'm going to read the answers, and then you ask questions. How long have you been in my class? What are you talking about? On 1-4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back when I was saying, are there any more questions? You should have opened your mouth and been like, 12.
I did.
You clearly did not. Now you're doing it. What number are you wanting to look at?
12.
Okay. The Red Cross is holding blood drives in 2 locations. In one day, Center 1 collected 715 points, and Center 2 collected 1,035 points. Write and evaluate an expression to estimate the total amount of pints of blood donated over a 3-day period. Great. So, 3 days times the first place was 715. The second place was 1,035. There is the expression. That part's done. Great. Now what do we do to solve this if we're doing it the correct way? And by that I mean the way they expect you to do it in this problem. Yeah, distributed problem. You don't have to do that on this problem, but that's the expectation here. So 3 times 715 is what?
Yeah, maybe.
3 times 715. Enter.
500.
2,145. Somebody else agree?
Sure.
Did you do it?
3 times 17.
3 times 715.
Oh.
2005.
2,145. And then 3 times 1,035.
105.
I disagree.
It's fun.
You disagree.
Now what?
We have an objection.
Add together.
I did that though.
You know, kids, I don't know why, you know, y'all are sitting there punching that one, and that one you could have done in your head. Just saying. And you could have beat everybody. Ugh.
Yeah, that.
500, 250.
Stop.
We said it along.
Pints.
I did it in my head.
All right, 1-5. Here we go.
I told you.
All right, we did 14 through 38. Is that what y'all said?
12, 32.
22. Oh yeah, because I threw those other ones out because I think they're stupid. So 22, 8, 24, 5, 26, 11, 28, 3, 30. 30, no solution. 28 was 3.
Oh, I did that.
Okay.
What was 26? And 24?
We're not done that.
Number 22. Guys, here the moral of this story is you should make your homework neater. Skip a space, go in order.
I did it.
Wait, you said
Circle your answers.
30 was no solution?
I did say that. Number 22 is 8. 24 is 5. 26 is 11. 28 is 3. 30 is no solution. 32 is all real numbers.
Or infinite solution.
Yes. 34 is 4. 36 is 16 inches. Make sure you put the units. If you didn't put the units, it's part wrong. Word problems have units. 38 is, the equation would be 3,550 equals 75x. And when you solve it, you'd get about 47 light bulbs. Make sure you put light bulbs. Word problems you have. So you can't have, now, so that would be wrong on that problem. Because I cannot have a third of a light bulb in any type of light bulb.
47.3.
You know, that ain't never going to work. And you notice it's definitely rounded down because it would have to be.
Bro.
You wouldn't round it up. My name is not bro.
I got 5.
So,
Yes, sir.
I asked, I don't know, but I stopped at 32.
Oops.
And I didn't do the math.
Oops.
so on 38, I didn't write the equation right, but I got the right answer. I did 3,550 divided by 75. Instead equals 75.
Yeah, I didn't do the 500. Oh.
So don't do it that way.
Okay.
And here's why. Here's why. What you did was middle school way of doing that. And that works on a problem like this where there's one thing to do. But when there's 5 things to do, it won't work that way. So don't just look for, do I divide, multiply, add, or subtract? Because you might do yes and do all of those things, right? Okay, what questions do we have on this lesson?
34.
32 and 34 is what I have heard.
And 28.
22, 24, 26, 28.
All right, I'm going to start with 32.
No. I got one.
Start with 32?
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Okay.
I quit.
32. This is like, this problem kind of cracks me up because the writers of this problem went about making this problem in like the laziest way possible, but that's fine. It's kind of honestly slightly hilarious.
Dad, what's the answer?
It was all, what?
Equals 15.
That's what we're doing
All real numbers.
Yeah, sorry, I did that.
All
I just.
Okay, what should we do first?
Parentheses. 3 times 5.
Okay, which is
15.
8 minus 8. Oh.
21 minus 12.
9, 15.
Well,
Remember, right?
that's why I said 8. Okay.
9 is what we're looking for.
Bro, 9.
Nice, stop yelling.
15 plus 32.
No, you would not do 15 plus 32. That number is not 32.
Oh.
What is that number?
3 squared.
3 squared, which is what?
9.
9. No, you didn't. If we are dumb playing the try to get that, okay, now let me back up. Let me change my mind mid-sentence. The game being played that I have allowed thus far is who can type the thing in the fastest. The game is not what do we do and saying a bunch of random stupid words and confusing the crap out of everybody in here. The only race game that I have and will allow is can you punch it faster than your neighbor? That's fine. That's working out. We're okay with that game for now. But this nonsense that's happening in your mouths, stop it. Because it's dumb and it's not helping anyone in this room. What should we do next?
15 T.
Subtract the 9.
Subtract 15 T.
Okay, so we can do either one of those first. Typically we would do the addition subtraction ones first. So let's do the 9 first. Why not? Minus 9 minus 9. 15t equals 15t. Which is true. It's always true. In fact, we could have stopped right here when this side equals that side and just written all real solutions or infinite solutions.
I just wrote on 32, I somehow got 15 plus parentheses t parentheses 33 parentheses equals 15 plus 32.
Okay, so I don't care, and you shouldn't either. What you should care about is do you understand what's on the board, or is there a place that's confusing? Don't worry about past mistakes. Let's focus on do we understand how to get to the future.
I added 21 and 12. And
So make sure. So the moral of that story is when it says minus, make sure you subtract.
to 3 squared. I thought I wrote it.
You wrote 32 on accident.
So
So
I got T 33 equals 30.
okay, so the moral of that story, I think you've done that a couple times. So you need to slow down when you're doing exponents and make sure and write those clearly so you know what you're seeing. So that's what we need to fix there. Yes, sir.
I went the other way and got 9 equals 9. Is that fine?
Yeah, that's fine. Either way, it's as long as you get the same thing in infinite solutions or all real numbers and circle it and that, then yeah.
Can I just write true?
You could also get 0 equals 0.
Can I just do true?
No, true isn't really good enough. So all real numbers or infinite solutions work, and it is that because it's true. So at this point, we can say a couple of different things, but true, it's infinite solutions because it's true. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you are on the right thing. You just need to use the right words. Yeah. And other one we wanted to look at, because y'all are afraid of fractions, apparently, is 34.
Not afraid of fractions.
I'm not afraid. I'm just like mortally in mortal terror.
Wait. Sorry.
Bro, Dad, I finished my book today.
Yeah.
Dad, I finished my book today.
Did you?
Yeah.
Was it awesome?
Yeah.
What book are you
What
reading?
is it? Crap.
Harry Potter?
Yeah.
You've been listening to it, you said.
Yeah, I've been.
Who listens to Harry Potter?
Exactly. But the narrator sucks.
No, we
Sorry.
Excuse me? You want to back that up? Jim Dale is one of the best audiobook narrators on the planet. Jim Dale is amazing.
He is.
But you are allowed to have weird opinions. It's fine. That's allowed.
He is.
Jim Dale is amazing.
Vatican is. Vatican.
Guys, it's not funny. Weird. Really?
Just switch pencils.
I don't think anything's funny.
You're doing no shade.
Yeah, we would
Throw it in trash.
Like, imagine you just go every day
My real question is, who would judge somebody from listening to an audiobook when they don't even read?
I read and watched all the movies.
Yeah, and that's probably the only thing you've ever read in your life, isn't it?
No, I read all the Dogmans too.
Yeah, okay. Dogman. Good job.
I looked through all the Dogmans.
I looked at all the pictures in the Dogman. That counts.
Bro.
Audiobooks are great.
Sure they are.
Audiobooks are great.
I do like audiobooks. I love them. Don't approve. They debate one specific. I can help. I know.
Okay, separate, separate.
Okay, stop.
I
I have a question. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Okay, Corbin. Everybody knows you're literally obsessed with Harry Potter. Calm down, take a breath. Let's do this problem.
No Dumbledore.
Why?
That's fine. I don't like the audiobook narrator to I still haven't even read the Dresden Files because I can't stand the author because he's like smacking the whole time. It's like, no, stop. This is irritating. I'm done with this. I'm not listening to it.
That is annoying.
They're short-ish books. I probably will read them eventually, but I ain't listening to that.
Are those people who don't drink water so that the S's are all high and shredded?
That's partially sometimes a problem with like the recording, but yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Is it
There's
because
a-
he does-
Do the parentheses.
Okay.
The first one.
What should we do?
First parenthesis.
Great. True.
16, 4 squared is 16.
That's true. What else could we go ahead and simplify inside of here real quick? 9 plus 7.
16.
Okay, great. Minus 1.
So minus one.
Stop. Take it back. I already said, no, we're not doing that. Great. What can we simplify in this parentheses?
8 times 9 is 72.
Great.
Just saying.
Same thing.
Don't need to speak at me. Just saying.
Some people just like have their times tables memorized. I mean, what can we simplify over here?
3 times 22 is 66.
It is.
That one's easy, bro.
That one is pretty easy.
The 18 plus 4 is 22.
22.
Oh, they said 72. I was like, wait, what?
Okay, so now on this line, what can we do in here?
The first parenthesis.
Let's do that.
Is 0.
It is, I'm gonna add a step in there because we're in Algebra 1, but yes, 16 divided by 16 is 1.
Algebra 1.
I want to make sure we're all tracking together, right? Okay, so what about over here?
You reduce 6.
Yes, 66 divided by 22 is 3. Yes, all those things are true. Y'all are both right. Okay, what can we do in here?
73 divided by 3.
72 divided by 3, but yes.
Oh, divided by 3 again.
Yeah, but let's just do it. Let's break this up into steps. So slow. 24. So r plus 24 divided by 3. All right, what can we do now?
24 divided by 3.
Minus 4.
1 minus 1 and 24. This is 0. Gemma was in fact correct from the beginning.
Let's
And then 24 divided by 3 is 8.
Is 8. Now what should we do?
Subtracting.
So often that would be a great choice, right? But since there's two long lost lovers, we got R's across the pond. We got to bring the R's together, right? We don't want R's separate, so we want to bring this one with that one. So before we deal with the 8 or anything else, how do we get these together?
Sure.
So to move him from one side to the other, you're going to either add him or subtract him because we want him to disappear from over here and appear over there. And that's how we disappear him, is either adding him or subtracting him. So which one are we going to do to make him disappear? Subtract him. So we're going to subtract the R, and then he goes with his buddy over here. Yay! Happy day. Be careful. They're long lost lovers. They're going to kiss. So the kissing turns into a 2. I don't know. The metaphor starts to break down eventually, but whatever. 8. Now what should we do?
So subtract R. I mean 8.
Now, why is it 2r? Because there might be like a question, you might have a question, you might be like not asking it. Where did the 2 come, why is it 2? That's right, because right here there's a 1, and 3 minus 1 is 2. That's right. So now what should we do?
Divide.
Divide by what? 2. Great.
Okay, so.
R equals 4. So that wasn't too bad. We just got to take it a step at a time, right?
Okay, I got R equals 5.
How does that make you feel? So let me clarify what I was yelling earlier, because what I was yelling earlier just sounded like I was being rude. I wasn't trying to be rude. Let me explain what I'm meaning and the way you need to be thinking about this whenever you make a mistake. What you need to be doing is you need to be tracking and figuring out where your mistake was and do you understand where you made it and where to fix it. That's our goal. Like, I don't care what wrong answer you got. Who the heck cares, right? And unless you can't find where you made the mistake, and then we might care, because then we need to walk back and figure out where you made the mistake. Does that make sense?
I was about to say where I was going to.
Good.
So for some reason, I added 8. So it was 8R for some reason.
That's what I
Then
did
I
too.
just took off.
Gotcha.
And I just did it 3 times 22 over 18 plus 4. My calculator, and you got 3R. And so I got 3R equals R8. I got it backwards. And so I got R equals 5.
I just got stuck in 3R.
So let me jump out, and because you two have said the same something basically, and so I want to show you something, because even if you did what you said you did and you kept on going right, you would have ended up with R equals 0, not R equals 5. So let me show you something here. So if we in fact did have 3R equals, and you both said R8, right? This is the same as 8 times R, right? So if I want to bring these together, I would subtract 8R and get negative 5R equals 0. 8R minus 8R is 0. And then I would divide the negative 5 off, and I would get R equals 0, because 0 divided by negative 5 is 0. So there's several different pieces that I want to make sure we understand in going. So even if this was what you got, this is what you would have had to do from there, right? Does this make sense? And does this make sense? Okay. What other questions from this lesson, Frogman Jack? Well, that was kind of cool. Couldn't do that again if I tried.
Try it again.
No.
What did you do?
I threw it at him, and it just like sat right there in the hood. Okay. What other questions from this lesson, kids?
36.
36.
You sound Italian.
Okay, pay very close attention, everybody. Everybody listening? 36 is a word problem. Try the word problems.
I did.
Don't leave it blank.
I didn't.
I'm yelling because this is an easy thing to do and be like, oh no, words, and then chicken out and jump off the ship. Try it. It's okay if you get it wrong. Deal?
I feel like that was
Okay.
like an algebra problem.
What? An algebra problem in algebra? What? What? No way. Okay. The perimeter of a regular octagon is 128 inches. Find the length of each side. What does the words regular octagon mean?
Means 8.
So octagon is an 8-sided figure. What does regular mean?
It's a regular one.
Yeah, what does that mean?
Does that mean all the sides are the same?
It does mean that. I can see y'all's middle school math was lacking, some of you, but you know, there it is. He's mind blowing, I don't know, something. So, how do you find the perimeter of a regular octagon? 8 times the number of sides, yeah? Great. So we're going to write an equation to go with this problem. The perimeter is 128. It was 8 times the number of sides, and it wants us to know what the number of sides are, how big the sides were. So what would we do to solve? Divide by 8.
So simple.
Okay. And then you get
16 inches.
So the side is 16 inches. Just inches, or inches squared, or inches cubed?
just inches, maybe.
Yeah, it's just distance. Distance is just inches, yeah? What would squared inches be?
It would be
Area. What would be cubed inches? Volume. What would be fourth inches? Impossible, because we'd have to throw in time.
Can I use the bathroom?
I don't know, can you?
May I?
You may. What?
If someone asks you, is that how you ask? And you say, yeah, that's how I ask. Oh my gosh.
My mind is so blown, I don't even know what you're saying.
That if you say, is that how you ask? And I don't say yes.
Is that how you ask? Oh, yeah. Well, I wouldn't ask that question, because that would be a dumb question to ask.
Exactly.
I'm not dumb. I only play one on TV. Y'all are too young to even remember that commercial. There was a commercial, I think it was even a Super Bowl commercial, like a whole bunch of years ago, where there's this, all these people were like, I'm not a doctor, I just play one on TV. I'm not a lawyer, I just play one on TV. And I don't even remember what the point of the commercial was, but it's like something, and then whatever. The funniest Super Bowl commercial that I ever saw was this lady was in the emergency room, whatever, running down the hall, and she's like, all right, get out of the way, he's got money coming out the wazoo. And it was like a Geico ad or something, whatever else, he's making all his money. And I guess the joke was that he had money coming out of his butt, because that was, I guess, what the wazoo was in their joke. Does anybody have any other questions on this lesson?
Yes, I'm not going to control.
I do.
All right, we should take a quiz, I think.
There.
I quit.
I am not taking it.
No, you don't. Quit lying. Is this the third, fourth quiz, something? Who knows?
I think it's like our second.
Second quiz.
Yes.
We're taking a quiz. I'm pretty sure I heard him yell in the bathroom. I don't think he was. He yelled something about.
He was talking in a very
did.
loud volume. Sorry.
Snap it on Slim Jim. No. Commercials in the 90s were wild, man. They were like crazy.
It looks like juicy.